Stanley Chukwuemeka, PhD, is a distinguished development, communication, and leadership specialist and multiple award-winning public speaker with over 20 years of diverse and cross-sectorial experience. A strategic leader in communication, advocacy, and training through capacity enhancement. He specializes in designing and executing national campaigns that translates complex policy into compelling public messaging through broadcast and social media. He has provided this expertise to major international development agencies in collaboration with the Nigerian government. His comprehensive portfolio spans strategic communication, public health advocacy, knowledge management, capacity enhancement, event management, media relations, and multimedia content production. Dr. Okerafo is widely recognized for supporting strategic social and behavioral change initiatives, just like he's going to be doing today. Driving impactful advocacy campaigns, empowering teams with skills, and advancing sustainable environmental practices. His professional credentials are reinforced by work and collaborations with prestigious national and international organizations, including the World Bank, UNDP, WHO, JPEGO, NURHI2, MAPS, FHI 360, the Nigerian Federal Ministry of Health, and BBC Media Action. As you can see, he has a PhD in mass communication from Bingham University, Nigeria. Complementing his master's and other degrees that he has from both within and from outside the country. Beyond his professional pursuits, Dr. Okerafo is a fitness enthusiast, a retired football referee, and enjoys traveling, writing, and outdoor activities. Distinguished engineers, please join me to welcome our guest speaker for the 2026 induction ceremony of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Abuja branch, Dr. Stanley Okerafo. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm sure you're very aware, like the Master of Ceremony has said, in events like this, clapping is free. You don't pay for it, so please feel free to clap if you want to clap. Distinguished Chairman of the Occasion, Engineer Ali Masuya Rabiu, MFR, President and Chairman in Council of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, ably represented by Engineer Valerie Agbe-Ragba, the Vice President and incoming President. The Deputy President and incoming President. Engineer Habu Bumel, OON, President of the IOC. Engineer Major General, ECNOB. The Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, Engineer Wumbi. Engineer Ahmed ASY Kutigi, Host and Chairman. Engineer Ben Osi Oko, the immediate past Chairman. Former Chairman and current Chairman of the different chapters. Members of the Executive Council. Engineer Kennedy Ayi, Chairman and members of the Planning Committee. Esteemed members of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, our proud inductees, members of the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is quite very important that protocol is observed, and let me take responsibility if I omitted anyone out of my protocol list. I take responsibility for that, especially because I've seen all the titles in the engineering field, and I didn't want to miss it, so I just skipped them, so forgive me. So I've seen the FNSC, the FASCE, so many. Interesting. What a remarkable day this is. What a remarkable moment this is. A moment of achievement, a moment of transition, and indeed, a moment of responsibility. Today, we gather not merely to celebrate professional success, but to recognize the emergence of a new generation of professionals upon whose shoulder significant responsibility now rests. Let me begin by sincerely appreciating the chairman, the executive committee, the planning committee for the honor of inviting me to speak at this very important occasion. And to the inductees, congratulations. You have worked hard for this moment. You have earned your place in this noble profession. And I don't know about you, a lot of us while growing up, you will be asked, what do you want to be when you grow up? You don't have a choice. You must either be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer. If not, your parents will disown you. But I know the world has changed and the world is changing. Today is more than the end of a journey. Today marks the beginning of a higher calling. Because from this day forward, you are no longer simply individuals with technical knowledge. You are custodians of public trust. And trust is a weighty thing. Engineering is not merely about structures. Engineering is not merely about machines. Engineering is not merely about systems or calculations. Engineering is about people. Engineering is about safety. It is about dignity, about human lives. It is about the future we as a people choose to build. Every bridge you design will carry more than vehicles. It will carry families, dreams, livelihoods. Every road you construct will influence economic activity, movement, and opportunity. Every decision you make will affect people you may never meet. And that is why your induction today is not merely professional. It is moral. Because the work of an engineer outlives the engineer. Permit me to say this clearly. Leadership is not first a position. Leadership is a mindset. Leadership is a posture. Leadership is the willingness to take responsibility when others step back. Too many people think leadership begins when they receive a title. No. Leadership begins the moment you accept responsibility and accountability begins. And whether you realize it or not, society has already entrusted you with leadership because your decisions will shape outcomes, your judgment will influence lives, and your standards will affect communities. So the real question is no longer whether you will lead. The real question is, when leadership is demanded of you, who will you become? No nation rises above the quality of its infrastructure, and no infrastructure rises above the integrity of the engineer behind it. Never forget. When you look at developed nations, what do you see? You see stable power systems, efficient transportation networks, reliable water supply, safe buildings, functional urban planning. These things do not happen by accident. I need to do this briefly. What can we do about this mic? Or do I speak without the mic? Will that be okay? The DJ, what do we do? Do I speak without the mic? Am I audible enough without the mic?
So again, I ask, when you look at developed nations, what do you see? And I'm just taking myself back a bit. What do you see? You see stable power systems, efficient transport networks, reliable water supply, safe buildings, functional urban planning. These things do not happen by accident. They are the products of competence, discipline, and responsible leadership. Now, let us bring the conversation home to Nigeria. Our nation is usually blessed with talents, resources, and potential. Yet, too often we struggle not because we lack ideas, but because we lack the disciplined execution and ethical leadership. The distance between possibility and reality is often the distance between knowledge and responsibility. And this, distinguished inductees, is where you come in. This is where you come in, Engineer Oluwaseyi. This is where you come in, Engineer Anabude. This is where you come in, Engineer Saragi. Engineer Shehu, this is where you come in. Engineer Eke, this is where you come in. Bridge that gap. And indeed, this is where everyone seated in this hall comes in. Because nation building is not the responsibility of government alone. It is the responsibility of responsible citizens. You are not just engineers for hire. I repeat that again. You are not just engineers for hire. You are nation builders. The Nigerian Society of Engineers has entrusted you with a code of conduct that demands honor, dignity, professionalism, and commitment to public trust and public interest. Those words sound simple, but living them will not always be easy because there will be pressure. Pressure to cut corners, pressure to compromise standards, pressure to approve what should never be approved, pressure to choose profit over people. And I pause at this point to talk about our city Abuja. Is it not sad that we live in a city where the master plan has been changed over and over and over because of profits? We live in a city where our educational grants for our children have now been constructed all over. We live in a city that when it rains, just a bit in some areas is flooded. This is not the master plan. So when those demands for you to compromise and to choose profit over people, to choose profit over integrity, and choose profit over legacy, what will you do? Sometimes, in those challenging times, nobody may even know. Nobody may even know, but your conscience will know. And in those moments, your certificate will not save you. Your technical competence alone will not define you. Your character will. Please remember that. Your character will. If there is one quality you must negotiate, never negotiate, it is integrity. A faulty calculation may be corrected. A structural defect may be redesigned, but a compromised conscience can destroy lives. Like as we said, we have seen buildings collapse. We have seen roads fail. We have seen projects abandoned. And behind many of these failures is not ignorance. It is compromise. As you go forward, let your name be your strongest credential. Let people say of you, if they handled it, it was done properly. If Engineer Sheyi handled it, it was done properly. If Engineer Shehu handled it, it was done properly. Oh, if Engineer Abigail handled it, forget it, it was done properly. Let that be said of you. That reputation is more valuable than money because competence may open doors by all means, but integrity keeps them open. At the same time, integrity without competence is not enough. The world is changing rapidly. Technology is evolving. Artificial intelligence is transforming industries. Engineering standards are advancing globally. You cannot afford intellectual stagnation. Keep learning, keep improving, keep stretching yourself, ask questions, challenge assumptions, remain teachable. Excellence does not happen accidentally. Excellence is practiced. Excellence is repeated. Excellence becomes a habit, and habits eventually become reputation. Leadership is not always dramatic. Sometimes leadership looks ordinary. Leadership is refusing to sign off what is mentoring younger professionals. Leadership is maintaining standards even when nobody is watching. Great nations are not built only by extraordinary moments. They are built by ordinary people making principled decisions consistently. Imagine what would happen if every engineer in this room decided this afternoon that mediocrity would go no further through their hands. Imagine if every project you touched met global standards. Imagine if every structure you influence was built not merely to stand, but to last. Imagine. You may not control the entire process, and I appreciate that, but you control your contribution to it. And when enough individuals choose excellence, systems begin to change. One of the greatest problems in society today is not lack of knowledge. It is application of knowledge. Yes, you have been trained. Yes, you have been examined. You have been certified. Now, you must deliver impact. Constantly ask yourself, how does my work improve lives? How does this project serve society? What legacy am I building through my profession? Again, I'll pause briefly here. If you know anything about the Rubik committee, you know that integrity is something they don't play with. And I'm happy the president is here, and I hope you have some time to also talk about this with your experience and where you have been. Sir, some schools of thought that argue that when you have integrity and work for legacy, your life will come out better. Some schools of thought, and I also believe that. And like I said, I really hope our father will have a few minutes to just share some ideas with us, because integrity to be at the OIC, he tell us better. Let me know if we go into that. Why am I saying all of this? Because at the end of your career, people may forget your calculations, but they will never forget your impact. Let us be honest with ourselves. Working in an environment as ours is not always easy. Let's not try to pretend. We know that. There are institutional pressures, there are systemic pressures and challenges, there are difficult choices to make, there are pressures from community members, from your royal fathers, there are pressures from your family to do what is wrong, to satisfy them. But in all of this, remember that history rarely remembers those who merely adjusted to broken systems. History remembers those who had the courage to stand differently. You may not be able to fix everything tonight, but never allow yourself to become comfortable with what is wrong. Never become part of the problem you complain about. Engineering is not a solo profession. Your effectiveness will depend not only on technical knowledge, but also on your ability to communicate, collaborate, and influence. You will work with policymakers, contractors, communities, governments, investors, other professionals. And sometimes the difference between a successful project and a failed project is not technical, it is relational. Develop your leadership skills. Develop emotional intelligence. Develop the ability to inspire. Because leadership and communication are no longer optional skills for engineers. They are essential. And on that note, permit me to encourage you to consider the leadership school of the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, where your chairman, Engineer Kutiji, Engineer Linda Bitrus, she's not here, but she's the past chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Environmental Engineers, and several others here are proud alumni. You can get more details later. And also, to help develop your leadership skills, I wrote a book on public speaking. And to all inductees, there's a criteria anyway, the chairman will guide on that, but I've written out 30 copies of this for the inductees, and it's beginning to you at a very, very reduced rates of FREE to all the inductees. Did you get that? So yes, you get that. Thank you very much. So I strongly encourage you to really, like I said, develop a leadership voice. Beyond salary, beyond titles, beyond applause, what difference do you truly want to make? Why did you choose this? Because purpose matters. Purpose sustains you when pressure comes. Purpose guides you when choices become difficult. Purpose gives meaning to sacrifice. Never become so busy building projects that you forget to build significance. Many people think legacy is built at the end of life. No. Legacy is built daily in decisions, in discipline, in standards, and the choices nobody applauds. From this moment, you are writing your story. And years from now, when your name is mentioned, what will people remember? Will they remember compromise or courage? Will they remember convenience or conviction? Will they say you merely occupied space, or will they say you made a difference? The choice is yours. So let me leave you with this final charge. Be the engineer who does what is right, even without supervision. Be the engineer whose reputation enters the room before you do. Be the engineer who values long-term impact above short-term gain. Let your leadership reflect courage. Let your work reflect excellence. Let your life reflect integrity. And above all, remember this: the future of Nigeria will not be built by policies alone. It will be built by men and women of competence, courage, and character, who choose responsibility over convenience. Once again, congratulations on your induction to this noble profession. May your journey be marked by excellence. May your work stand the test of time. And may your leadership contribute meaningfully to the development of our nation. Always remember, engineering is not merely about structures. Engineering is not merely about systems. Engineering is not merely about solutions. Engineering is about people. Engineering is about life. Engineering is about the future. And it is about the actions you choose to take or refuse to take. Thank you very much, and may God bless us all.